So you already have a fast Harley-Davidson and you want to make it go a little bit faster. And now you're considering E85. Well, in today's video, we're going to talk about E85. And here we are. Next to me here, if you guys are new to the channel, this is my Low Rider ST that I've had for about 6 or 7 months now. And it has an all-American 130 cubic inch engine, Gen 1 M8. Now, what's the big deal? Well, you guys know All-American Cycle builds fast and also fast, reliable bikes. And this one here on E85 is pushing 171 horsepower to the wheel and 165 foot-pounds of torque to the wheel. I've made various videos on this, so go back to my YouTube channel and reference those. Now, it's also tuned on 93 pump gas. And on 93 pump gas, it made 2 horsepower less and 2 torque less. Now, the point of this video is for all of you all that have been wondering, what's the big deal of E85? Because I was just like you. I was wondering, like, you know, E85, screw that, man. Like, I'm a rider, bro. I'm gonna go across country and there's no E85 all over the place, which is true. But this is what happened. When George was building this 130 engine setup for me, which is very unique, he said, I told him, you know, what's the big deal about E85? So he told me in a quick phone call, said, hey, your engine's gonna run cooler and you'll get a little bit more power.
So it picked up 2 and 2, but the biggest gain to me on E85 is not the horsepower increase, it's the temperature decrease. It runs about 30 degrees cooler in head temperature, and the throttle is a lot crispier because it is a better fuel.
Well, what I did was I went to this E85 gas finder website that I'm gonna share with you guys, and I said, hey, let's do an E85 tune on there anyways, and let's do it on 93 pump gas. Well, I have only had it on E85 for probably the last 3,000 miles. And this tank right now is on 93 octane because I was just curious what the difference would be in fuel consumption, really, and also in the heat, because you get a cooler engine on E85. So that brings us to today's video. And I have my phone here because I have my notes. I want to give you guys some good information off of me, off of my riding experience, and if E85 is good for you or not, right? I'm gonna say before I even start, spoiler alert, if you can get E85 and ride around it daily, because I daily this motorcycle to work back and forth and also on the weekends, get E85. But there are some cons to it. So let's cover the pros first. The pros are you get better power, you get a cooler engine, and it cools down at idle. Also, because of the cooler engine, you have more power throughout your power band and it's consistent. So those are the pros. And now let's go on the few cons that I listed here. The cons is that E85 is not easy to find. Some of you may not be able to get E85. And the fuel could be contaminated and therefore hindering your performance on your engine. Also, you do get some less fuel economy from E85 to pump 93 octane or 91 octane or whatever you can. You do get a little bit less, and also you probably have to change your fuel filter more often than you would on pump gas. And I say more often, but I'll get into that, simply because E85 is a little bit is more contaminated than 93 octane. So that's what I'm gonna cover. Now, getting into the pros right away is that you get better power. Now, in some cases, you know, like in vehicles, you get an extra 10, 20 horsepower, and sometimes on these V-twins, you get the same amount of power gains, but sometimes you don't. So it just varies on your engine design. In my case, I gained 2 horsepower, and I gained 2 foot-pounds of torque from pump 93 octane, also to E85, and I'm perfectly happy with that. So you do get some more power, but I have heard and I have seen some people that also have other YouTube channels that they run 85 and they have anywhere up to a 5 to a 7 horsepower jump by just switching to an 85 tune. And I think that is amazing, right? But my hesitation was, how accessible is it? Well, we'll get into that. Now, the cooler engine. you will have a cooler engine. How much cooler? Well, whatever temperature your Harley-Davidson runs at is gonna run, I would probably say my experience is between 35 and sometimes up to 40 degrees cooler compared to 93 octane, which is also why I have this 93 octane here, because I wanted to see the difference firsthand for myself. So it definitely runs a lot cooler, and to me 20% or I would say 20 degrees or more that an engine runs cooler is a no-brainer for me, right? Now, when I mentioned earlier that because it's cooler, you get more power throughout your power band, the hotter your engine gets, the more power it loses. So naturally, the cooler your engine is, the more power you're gonna maintain throughout your power band and throughout your run or runs, you know? So I think that's also very important, because if say your bike is dynoed at 150 square torque and horsepower, and say once your horsepower it's at 5,500 and plus it kind of keeps climbing, that's at the dyno room in a control setting after it's being cooled down. But a normal street application, when it's like 120 degree ambient temperature out there, and your engine's getting hotter than that in terms of the air coming in, you're not gonna get that 150 horsepower because your engine is just hotter. Now, if you turn it on, let it warm up, and then run it, yeah, you're gonna get that power, but after a while, that power is gonna steadily increase because your engine's getting hotter. But the 85, you maintain more of that power, right? So I think that's a big plus. Now, it cools down at idle. Guys, let me put my phone down for this, because I ride it to work, and Houston traffic is not friendly. And Houston is vast, so you have a lot of traffic everywhere, especially when you're going to and coming from work. So I was in traffic, and normally I like to get away from traffic because I don't want my engine to get hot. And this time I had no choice. I had to stay idle. So my engine was already hitting 300 degrees, which for me on E85 is getting on their hotter side. It's still not like, your engine's gonna blow or anything like that. But for my comfort level, I was like, dude, this bad boy's getting at 300 degrees. Like, damn, it was like 298. Well, I'm stuck in traffic, I'm in idle, and I was like, dude, if this bad boy goes up to 300 degrees or 10 degrees more, I'm gonna pull over, turn it off, and just let it cool down for a little bit, right? Because I'm not gonna blow my engine. And let me know in the comments if that's been you. And by the way, subscribe and like, because it really helps out the channel if you haven't done so yet already. Well, lo and behold, I see 290 degrees go to 294. And I was like, what? The temperature is dropping, and this is on 85. And then from 294, it goes 4 degrees less and 40 degrees less. So and I was idling for, dude, it was probably like a fast 4 minutes, but to me, those 4 minutes seemed an eternity. But as I saw it cool down, now I was curious. So I would go and purposely stay in traffic. And as I was in traffic, that temperature went all the way down to like 250 degrees. So you're gonna tell me this motorcycle in 85 went down 48 degrees in traffic on 85? I'm like, wow. But that's probably because of the ethanol content or level of 85, which is 85%. And I was just really impressed. So I called George, I was like, dude, is this normal? My motorcycle actually cooled down and I was in idle in traffic. He says, yes, it's normal on 85. So I was like, I gotta share that with my people. And this happened months ago, but this is, my review here is about, like I said, 6 or 7 months of owning this motorcycle and dating it. So I was like, dude, that's amazing. Now you wanna listen to this part. These are the cons. These are the negatives that can help you decide if you wanna use this or not, right? So the biggest negative is gonna be that it's not easy to find. By far, it's not easy to find. Here in Houston, it's everywhere. When I say everywhere, like if I go 10, 12 miles in any distance, I'll probably find it. East, west, north, or south, but I'll find E85, no problem. So here in Houston, for me, it was like a no-brainer, because that was the other thing I did. I went to E85 Finder. It's a website, and once you're in the website, you can download the app, and it tells you where your E85 locations are. And from there, you just click on the little red dot, kind of like Apple Maps, and it automatically on your iPhone, and probably your Android as well, gives you the directions to go to the closest E85 pump. And to me, that's amazing. I actually went to the beach with Knuckles and a bunch of the guys a few weeks ago, and it was on E85 the whole time, and that was maybe about 150, 180 mile round trip, and it was all one day, and it was all on E85. So this bad boy runs, let me tell you. I actually got pulled over, and I'll show that video on the next video, but yeah, it was a good time. I actually got pulled over and dropped the bike, but that's in a different video. Bike's good. I'll show you, I'll share that. Now, when I said one of the negatives that the fuel could be bad is because the fuel can be bad. The fuel can be contaminated. And I learned that firsthand. So I've been filling up with E85 at the same gas pumps in my area, which is, I mean, I got one literally 3 miles away from here, and another one like 4 miles from there, and another one 2 miles from there. So I'm like covered, right? And the one that I normally go to, I should have known. So this is just word to the wise. You know, these gas pumps, the Suncoast gas pumps, have an E85 left and right on the same pump, but on the left side and the right side, and then on the next one as well. Well, what I should have done is not used it, because I had 3 takes of fuel on my thing, on my fuel gauge meter, and one side of the E85 gas pump it had a plastic bag over it, like you can't use it. The other one didn't. So I got that one and I filled up my gas tank with that. After about 20 miles, my motorcycle was starting. It was riding good, you know, just kind of in traffic, hauling butt, you know, it was fine. But when I was trying to open it up, it wouldn't backfire. It would just have like a delay. It was almost like if my injectors weren't getting enough fuel. You know, it was like slowing down, but it wasn't backfire. It was totally weird. So I was like, man, maybe I have bad fuel because it's never done this to me, and I ride the crap out of it. So I called George, and you know, he's like, you know, switch it over to 293 and see if that works. Sure enough, I changed the tune. I just had 1 tank of E85 left in there. I switched the tune to 93 octane, started it. You know, the fuel had to kind of go through the fuel system just a little bit, maybe a 1/10 of a mile, just from here to there. And after that, I was like, okay, bike is running good, it feels good. And I opened it up and it went away. So it eliminated the issue that I had bad injectors or bad anything else, but it was the case that I had bad fuel, a bad batch of E85. So looking back, I should have not put that fuel from that gas pump when, you know, it was essentially the bottom of the tank of E85. So after that, I switched it back to E85, and it worked perfectly fine because I actually had a good batch of E85 fuel. And now I'm back on 93 because I actually wanted to see what my fuel consumption was and share that information with you guys. So that's the only con. Well, that's another con of it. It's definitely not a deal breaker, but you just don't want to use the bottom of the barrel. Now your bike will still start, you can still leave, you're not going to be stuck. That was my experience. But if you're trying to be on the performance side, you're going to notice it there. And all you have to do, if you have the 2 tunes, put it back on 93, put it back on 85, and you're done. So, you know, for an everyday this is for an everyday application. If this was only like a track bike or a weekend bike, it wouldn't really make that much of a difference. But I use my bikes all around. So that's the only thing that I had with that in terms of the bad batch of fuel. Besides that, it's been running great. Another con is you probably have to change your fuel filter more often than you do when you have pump gas. Now, typically, if I remember right, you have to change your fuel filter on pump gas every 20,000 miles, which is a lot. And this year, I would probably change it every 10, maybe every 8,000 miles. It's up to you, but that's probably what I would do. And that might be on the excessive side, but that's what I would do, because if you're running E85, you obviously you're on the more performance side of the house. And also, if you have a batch of dirty fuel here and there, it probably dirtied it up. So you just want to, you know, keep a fuel filter in stock on you. So I don't know how much they are at Harley, $5 or $10. And you can buy the fuel tool to remove your fuel pump and change that out. And Amazon, I want to say it was like for $40. So you can do it yourself or have your shop do it. Might charge 30 minutes worth of labor. So that's it kind of goes in hand, but I think I would still do 85, no problem. Now, the other con for all you guys that were curious, just like I was, you do get less fuel economy. Now, how much less fuel do you get? To my calculations, you get anywhere between 20% and 30% less fuel economy. So, however, whatever size of tank you have a 5-6 gallon tank, a 3-gallon tank or whatever on your motorcycle or a car or a truck, whatever, you're gonna lose between 20 if you're riding it more just on the daily, not really hauling butt, just your normal, and probably more than 30% if you're actually on it, if you're opening it up and just using it what it's intended for. For me, it's not a deal breaker because anytime, it's like a truck. If you lift a truck, don't complain or ask about the fuel mileage because you're gonna lose fuel mileage. But if you want a lifted truck, get a lifted truck, just don't complain about fuel costs because it goes hand in hand. Just my 2 cents. Now, as a bonus, I'm gonna tell you a pro and a con all at the same time about E85 versus 93 before we end the video. The 85 fuel is less expensive per gallon here in the United States than a gallon of 93 octane. It's cheaper it's less expensive by sometimes 50 cents to $1, and that's a lot. Now the con to that is if you're using 20 or 30% more of E85 than you would compared to 93 pump gas, then the price kind of offsets depending what the price of fuel is where you're at, but it kind of offsets. So I don't know if that's a pro or con, because if you spend $2 per gallon and you spend $3 per gallon, but you're spending an extra, I don't know, what would be an extra 15, 20 cents or 30 cents to kind of make it up, I guess you do save a little bit more if you use your E85, depending how much you're on the throttle. That's my experience using E85, and I really want to take my time, months really, to make this video so I can share this with you all, because I know a lot of you all have been asking me in Instagram or here on YouTube or direct messaging, hey, what's the deal with the E85 and is it good or not? You know, I was just like you, and I said, you know what, I'm just gonna get one for myself. Obviously it was built by the best, by All American Cycle. And this is my experience so far. And what do I anticipate in the future? I anticipate that it's gonna continue to be awesome. So this video wouldn't be complete without me starting this motorcycle here. And it is a cold start. Bam, bam, bam. See, all nice and cold. Man, this bad boy is bad. Carbon fiber wheels, speed dealer swing arm, support brace, carbon fiber wheels, Brembo RC S19s on top. It is bad. So let me go ahead, stop yapping, and let's end this video by starting this motorcycle for you guys. And please like, share, and subscribe. Love you guys. And if you can, go to your local food bank, donate some time or some food, or any kind of food you can donate. And also, please go to your local blood bank, because there's a lot of people out there that need some good biker blood.